This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
From the Central Bank of Nigeria, we go to the federal government. The federal government has reassured the country that it will continue the crude and refined product sales in Naira initiative. They said this policy is integral to alleviating Nigeria's foreign exchange pressures and ensuring long-term energy security. The reassurance is contained in a statement which also explains that the swap deal is not a temporary or stopgap measure, but a long-term policy direction approved by the Federal Executive Council. Joining the conversation this morning is oil and gas expert Ayodele Oni. Mr. Oni, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the conversation.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
We've been reassured as a country of this initiative going forward. I want to get your thoughts on why this assurance is necessary and what you see its immediate effects being.
Okay, so the assurances are necessary because the oil and gas industry is very volatile. Information changes a lot. When people hear something is going to happen, prices can immediately go up or go down. Now, the chances are that they adjust prices downwards. Quantum, I cannot state. Reason why I think so is because oil prices are dropping. As long as oil prices are dropping, crude oil prices are dropping internationally, it should impact us positively at the pump. It may not have if it was a dollar for crude, because it then means that there will be pressure on the Naira and the dollar will go up, because we then need to start looking for dollars to buy crude. And once dollar goes up, even if oil prices go down, if $2 was 1,005 before, it's now 1,008. There's a 300 Naira already. So even if crude oil prices go down, it may not impact us positively. But with the Naira for crude thing, we're not chasing dollars, so it doesn't devalue the Naira substantially, such that if prices drop internationally, as they have been dropping, I think the Western Texas Intermediate is less than 60, Brent is just barely 60, if I'm not mistaken. It then means that at the pumps, Nigerians should feel it. It's only when our currency remains reasonably stable that we will feel it. That's one critical point to note.
So, Mr. Oni, just expanding on the point that you've just made, we saw an increase in pump price for the first time in, I think, this year, really, because what we were seeing were continuous decreases, and then suddenly it went up. And it went up around the time that we heard, and the Dangote refinery itself also, put out a statement that they were stopping the Naira for crude and then, Naira for petrol sales in the country. In this time, we have also seen, in the last week or so, we've seen the exchange rate go up officially. I think it hit 1,628 Naira just 2 days ago or so. I don't know what it closed at yesterday. So if we go by the government statement, it seems like what they're saying is we're in the conversation, not so much that it has already happened. And if this is the case, we have to ask the question of why we've not seen pump price go up, whether we will see it go up at all because marketers are likely buying stock in this particular moment. And if this policy has been suspended, then ideally it means they're buying with dollars. Can you help us reconcile these possibilities?
Okay. The reason why fuel prices haven't gone up is because international crude prices have gone down. Even though our currency has gone up, has gone down to it's been devalued, there's a counterbalance. One is going up, one is going down. So instead of us enjoying crude oil prices going down, it at best remains stable because our Naira has been devalued. Ordinarily, when the Naira is devalued, petroleum prices should go up because it's a dollarized thing, especially if they're buying in dollar, right? But because international crude oil prices themselves have gone down, so a counterbalance, +2 -2 is 0. So that's how we're not feeling it. It's because on one end, the dollar becomes stronger and Naira has become weaker, which ordinarily should mean prices should be higher, but because crude oil itself, the prices have gone down, it then counterbalances the effect of a devalued currency. That's why we're not seeing a movement yet. And you could also argue that they have old stock.
Right.
because some people have old stuff, they still sell at what it was. I mean, that's arguable though. But I think it's more the first point around the counterbalance.
You know,
Going up on those.
for those of us, I mean, for someone like me, I'd love to see the pump price go down as a result of what's going on internationally, right? But for stakeholders within the industry, whether that's the marketers themselves, midstream, downstream, or upstream, there's a real question on what their own sentiments are with what is going on internationally. There's every likelihood that we might see a barrel of crude rise now that the U.S. has essentially sort of reversed or paused its trade policies. Speak to us about the sentiments from within the industry. Would players rather see a stabilization, or the direction we've been heading in the last few days? Is that something that they can manage?
Well, yes, they can always manage, but the preference is always stability. Every investor wants stability. You invest on the basis of certain indices. If anything changes, minor, it should be a minor change. But once you begin to have steep changes, you then begin to suffer with your financial model. You know, everyone does have a financial model and work within it. And recall, when you take finances, you have financial ratios. And you want to ensure that you keep up with your financial ratios. So if things continue to change drastically, it may affect, and loans may need to be accelerated. Acceleration means that the lender wants money back almost immediately, all of it, or a large or a substantial part of it, wants to be given money in that portion that has been utilized. You know, so it would have an adverse effect if it continues to just go up and go down, go up, go down, particularly maybe even go down substantially. But if you have it stable at a +1, +2, plus minus 1 or 2%, that may be manageable. But a daily 10%, 5% change in international crude oil prices will be a challenge for any investor.
Very well.
So that preference to be stability.
All right. Well, Mr. Oni, thank you very much for your time and expertise on this conversation. Ayodele Oni is an oil and gas expert who joined us this morning to speak on the federal government's assurance that it will continue its crude for refined product sales in Naira policy.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.